Okay. We are on a car picnic date right now. We just did a walk. Anyway, we're gonna make a different kind of video today. When we were on our Valdez trip, we decided to like write out our story basically. Try to get all the details back together. And it took us 3 hours to do all of it. So anyway, now that we did that, we're like, well, let's just film it. Do you want some sausage?
Yeah. It's a little spicy. I'm gonna like start coughing in the middle of the video.
All right. Whew, I was thirsty. All right, I don't even know how to start. How did we meet?
That's easy. That's the most simple part of a relationship. Well, I don't remember actually. I have a good memory, but I don't remember this thing. We were supposedly babies in the church nursery. I'm not sure how old you were. Were you newborn? Mm-hmm. So I would have been about a year old then. So obviously our families knew each other.
Our whole lives.
We didn't really hang out a lot together. Well, we interacted. We had mutual friends.
I wasn't going to be outdone by anyone. And you were always trying to like one up your friends.
Yeah, I sort of ignored the girls. I was competitive.
Like when you were like 5 and 6, people, like I would come home after church and tell mom like, Samuel and I did this and this and this, and everyone else could only do that. We weren't super friends, but we were always interacting because we were like in the same advanced league.
I guess that's how it was, as long as we were kids.
Things started is when I was 12 and I started liking you. You never invited me to your birthday parties. That was like one of the big things.
Mm-hmm.
His birthday parties were like known throughout the church. And his birthday was always shortly before my brother's birthday. So I would always try to get my brother to invite him so that way he would invite my brother to his next birthday. But since they were like a month after each other, it would be like a full year, and I don't think you remembered that my brother had invited you.
So yeah, I always thought she was a little out there and crazy. So I guess I wasn't really that interested in her. Kids were always important to me. I grew up in a big family, and so she was sort of like footloose, fancy-free kind of thing, and I was like, I didn't know how she was with kids, and so weird, overthinking it, like preteen. That was crazy. But eventually she started babysitting for this family, and they were hard to babysit for. It was a challenge, but she could do it pretty well.
It was hard because they have 10 kids now. They didn't have 10 kids when I was babysitting them. I stopped when they had 7.
But they're all close together. They're all really young. It's like 7 kids under 8 kind of thing, or 9.
Yeah, and so that's like around when he started noticing, is when I was like watching all of them.
I mean, for good reason. Like a teenager that can handle 7 kids under 8 or 9. That's something special there. So then I was like, oh, maybe she's not quite as crazy and wild as I thought.
After he realized I wasn't a totally no option. Is that even correct verbiage?
I don't know. Quality material.
I was more quality than he realized. Higher quality than he realized.
But I thought I found the parking lot. I don't know if you had even shot it at me. I just thought I just found it.
Oh, you did?
Lot. Yeah, I just found it. I don't know. I don't know whose it was.
He found this hair tie.
I shot this dirty, disgusting hair tie that who knows who came off of.
At me. And that's why I was like, ew, gross. And I shot it back at him.
Right. That was the day before my family was leaving on a big cross-country motorhome trip. And so I was going to be gone for like 5-6 weeks. And then
you took it in the van and dropped it out the window on your way out of the parking lot.
And so I just like thought, okay, here it is. It's over. However it happened.
That wasn't the day you left. So you dropped it out the window. The next Sunday, I hung it on the encouragement board for you.
So I was stuck with it, as it would be. We met up with our minister in Canada on their way back from their cross-country road trip. And so I just gave it back to my friend without any explanation, said, give this to Allie. And a couple weeks later, I was at my grandmother's house, and I get this letter, and I'm not sure if you had your name on it or not. And it was some random note. I don't even remember what the note said. It was like a bunch of gibberish, like random things. It was, you wrote something sort of funny about Lord of the Rings because that was sort of a big deal. And like my friend group was like, oh, we read all the books, we watched the movies. And so you threw in something about that for some reason, and it completely random. But and then I was stuck with this hair tie again. Like, wow, she really outdid herself. I wore it on my wrist the rest of the trip.
And then he put on the bulletin board envelope, and when he opened it, a bunch of ashes fell out, and he was like, I burned the hair tie.
When I gave her the ashes, I just stuck them in the real ones in the bottom of my tackle box. Yeah, they're still there. The hair ties are sort of like the Cupid's arrow in our relationship. It was a slow-moving poison.
Anyway, that was when we were about 13. The next year, we were part of some film festival. Okay, so that's when your best friend came to town.
I always get jealous of him because he's just a natural. Pretty much everybody, but especially girls. He has a lot of sisters, and I was still trying to like figure out if I liked Allie or not. And I think I could start sensing more and more I really do like her. We had a serious man-to-man talk. We made this pact. We were not going to live in the same city until we were both married. So this is like the first summer I actually journaled pretty consistently, being brutally honest and writing all my feelings down. We had a church camping trip on the 4th of July. I did my daily journal entry, and I left in my tent. Lo and behold, my younger sister, she actually read my journal. And to make things worse, I knew she read my journal because she went and she wrote a note in my journal saying how sweet a big brother I was to want to be nice to Allie. And nothing really developed past that point.
I got a phone after that. My parents left town, and his older sister came and stayed with us. So that's when Hannah and I decided we were going to prank text Samuel, because I got a new phone and he didn't have my number. It was probably my idea because I wanted your number and I didn't want to ask for it.
She made it easy on me. I didn't have to ask for her number.
That was like the first time we started texting after. My parents were out of town. I didn't know if there were going to be any rules regarding the phone and stuff. And I didn't want to hide anything from my parents. But we texted so much, my phone storage was filled before my parents got back from their trip. And so I had to start writing out all of his messages by hand because I didn't want to like hide anything. And I also was like, oh, these are so cute. I'm going to save these. When did we get the curfew? We didn't get that until my parents came back.
We could not text after 6 o'clock. So yeah, that's how it was until we were married.
We're at half an hour in, still going. Our sisters are friends, and they were talking to each other on the phone. We each bombed the other's phone call. So they put it on speakerphone, so like all of us are talking now. Because we were not actually talking on the phone yet.
Yeah.
We were still texting and still trying to like feel it out. Anyway, on this phone call, Samuel told me that his family was going on this hike and that I could come if I wanted. So we got there. He takes off down the trail and he's like gone. I don't see him until the end of the hike. And so I'm there hiking with his mom. And probably Hannah. Not awkward at all. His mom has said multiple times that she can't believe I married him. We basically texted all that winter, got closer, and then his 16th birthday, I was finally invited to the birthday party. Yeah, that year, I can tell because I read his journal. He was just being very careful, and he was already way more mature than the other guys his age. And so he already had this standard of where he felt like a relationship should be and where it should go and goals for it. It wasn't for fun.
I had a lot of school to do. I was constantly doing school. And so I was like pretty stressed out. I didn't know what I was going to do after I graduated. I don't want to get in a relationship where I have everything figured out. So I definitely overthought it too much. But
well, then your dad gave you a maturity talk and it just like flew you over the edge. It shouldn't have been as stressful as it was for us. So when I turned 16 then, he left on my birthday. He went to Wisconsin for a summer. So
this would be the first time that we were actually apart. And so I think her dad saw it as sort of like a test of if we were actually going to work out. And I ignored Allie a little bit too much. Like the time zone difference was hard and I would be working until like 5 or 6 her time, but it'd be 6 o'clock my time, which I think I still could have texted. But we'd have like dinner and I was just exhausted. And
you were like questioning your whole life.
Yeah, figuring out like who I was and what I wanted to be. I guess it was good for me, but it didn't have to be as stressful as it was for Allie because I was like questioning. I was just going back and forth like, oh, should we be in a relationship yet? Should I not? Should I?
He was giving me very, very mixed signals.
Yeah. Yeah. Called to break it off, and I just like couldn't do it.
There wasn't really anything to really break off.
No, that was like the complicated thing.
Because we weren't
break off.
dating, and we actually never dated our whole relationship. Like, we were more than friends. We never went on dates. But his sister came down to Wisconsin. She fixed him.
She reminded me how great Allie was. And I was like, yeah. And I never went back.
He brought me back a heart necklace from that trip.
She thought I bought it in the airport. So I don't know, like, I didn't realize that she thought I bought it in the airport until I think like a year ago. So
I thought he told me that. He was like, oh, I picked this up in the airport on the way home for
no,
you.
I was working at a farmer's market, and there was like some handcrafted jewelry there, and I was like, oh, this is cool. His supplier from, I think, Switzerland or Germany was like shutting down, and so this was one of the last of this styles he was going to be making. She thought I got it in the airport.
We were 16 and 17 when he got back. Super close at this point.
I think that next year it was a fairly functional relationship.
18, we went skiing for your birthday.
Yep.
We were on the chairlift going up, and your mom, her skis thrown over her shoulder, and she was just like marching down the hill. Yeah, so you were 18. That's when Sunshine happened too, right?
Oh yeah, I got prank.
His brother and
My friends from college. I didn't have their numbers. They got my phone when I wasn't looking, and they went into Allie's contact, took out her phone number, and put in this other guy's number. So the next morning, I wake up, shoot a text to Allie, and then it starts this whole long thread. Like, how should I respond to this? How should I respond to, like, what would Allie say? They would have a whole conversation on like how to reply to this message to make it sound like Allie. There's a couple of things that were like, this is a little bit weird.
they went all day without telling you, but you were busy that day, so you weren't texting like you normally text me. He never really had the chance to have a real conversation for you to know that's not me. This is why I have some trust issues. That was not an appropriate prank at the point of the relationship where my mom was very upset when she heard what happened too. It should not have happened.
So, I don't think she was too irritated at me, but she definitely was.
I was not irritated with you.
A long time at my brother and his friends, and I think we had one more birthday party and resolved it. They always got a little bit. It was snowball fights was like the theme of the birthday party, and this was one of the last years it happened. And this one guy, he likes to play rough, and so there's some guys getting in a tussle, and so he was getting really into it, and he did something to her brother, and I got a little irritated, so I took on this guy, and
you see him in the house crying.
He's a
200.
Yeah, he's like a 200-something pound guy. That was like the last big snowball fight, I think, of our birthdays.
I was 17 and I had finished my high school requirements.
I got a job babysitting. I was
nannying the kids I still nanny. Hannah got engaged and married. We were talking about Tim and Hannah. I made a joke about getting married and living in an RV.
Yeah.
Because we could afford an RV.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, my parents had done that. We can do better than that. My dad has a dry cabin. We could stay in the dry cabin. I said it joking back because I did not think that she would even go for it. Like, I thought that was way out there. But she did. She was like, yeah. Like, we could do that.
And I started making spreadsheets. My income, what you would be earning until he went to school in the fall, because he was going to start college.
And then scholarships, and then things like that.
How we would be able to pay for his schooling, the cost of dry cabin living, etc., which is very low if you're trying to save money, by the way.
Do you even know like what our budget was? Like our monthly budget?
I could probably find it.
Yeah. We'll try to get it in the video. Just right.
No,
right.
no, we're not.
Right there, right.
Probably not.
Monthly budget. Right there.
I'm not going to find it in time to put that in. So we went to my parents. I was still 17.
I had just turned 19.
He thought we were coming to start dating again.
And he thought it was a stretch because I hadn't finished school yet. I had like a month or so to go left at this point. And so he thought we were trying to like push ahead and start dating earlier than he was planning on it.
No, I was asking to get married. We got married 2 months later. He got his high school diploma at our family rehearsal dinner.
I graduated before that point. But I think my parents thought it would be a funny joke.
No, it came in the mail that
it did.
day.
Oh, it had come.
It came in the mail
because
that
I finished
day.
it, and then my mom had to finish the paperwork.
How did you tell your parents we were getting married?
I know my dad was out of state. He was helping his mom.
Should we call your mom?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, we were trying to figure out how you found out that we were going to get married. Did Pam tell you? Or did I tell you?
Yeah.
I should know this kind of thing. Like, I didn't even tell my own mom I wanted to get married.
Yeah, Pam did.
Because we asked them on like a Sunday afternoon.
Did my mom
Yeah.
know? That you
Yeah, and then I called him because he was in Pennsylvania. I expected you were going to get married, or want to get married in a year. I don't know exactly what it said, but basically it was like, oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And she's like, no, this year. I was like, and that's why I had to go home and call Papa. I'm like, just so you know, like, I'm giving him a heads up. I aged a lot that year. Are you doing this for your vlog or something?
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
When we all went out to talk for that lunch on Allie's birthday,
Yeah.
I guess you gave her her necklace. And I said, well, now was that a proposal I just saw? I was sort of confused, like what I just saw.
Don't worry, Allie was confused too about it.
like a week after that, and then you guys left early and went and got a ring.
She wore it. I don't know if anybody noticed it though.
I wore it because I was taking your guys' family pictures and they wore the ring and no one noticed. Well, we'll be picking the kids up soon, so
Okay.
thanks.
You're welcome.
I feel so bad that you didn't even tell your own mom.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd told your mom that you could talk to her about it. Or if she just sort of initiated. Yeah, we just hit 1 hour.
I don't know how to end it. 5 years later, 2 kids, 2 houses. You're in your...
2 degrees, working on my second degree.
He's working on his second degree. We're not living in a dry cabin anymore. Very excited about that. And the kids are at his parents' and it's past 9 o'clock, so we should probably go pick them up now.
If they watch the whole thing unedited, big thanks for watching because it's like an hour and 10 minutes in now. We gotta do some serious editing here. Maybe increase our voices like really fast and when we can edit really fast.
Okay, bye. Let's redo what we just did, I guess.
Oh, the conclusion of the whole thing?